Good morning, everyone. So M&C Saatchi, we're going to be 20 years old this year, which is very exciting. And, we're an agency that's in the business of creativity. We give our clients that why. We get their brands fit and we allow them to sort of cut through in the world that we're all trying to sort of gain attention. We work for some of the biggest brands in the country. We've got IAG, we've got Lexus, Optus, and CBA, Combank. We're behind platforms such as 100% New Zealand, Combank Can, and NRMA Better. So we're a very strong business that works well at sort of delivering that to clients. But the truth is, we have to keep innovating our business to stay on top of this. And what we're finding is that we have to diversify our services because, let's say we're in the business of advertising. Ultimately, we're striving for people's attention, and those channels are closing down all the time. Earlier we heard about Netflix. I don't know about you, but we sort of navigate away from those experiences because our time is so poor that we just want to use entertainment for entertainment's enjoyment. So our big thing is making sure that we keep changing. And that's what we've been doing this sort of last year, is keeping that momentum. And it's something that we've always done. So our why and how. We want to be the most influential creative company by 2020. We are known for our ambitious people, but ultimately it's the uniting of them that makes us extremely powerful. We're 400 people. We're based down in Macquarie Street in Sydney. We're across about 5-6 floors, which has its own challenges, to be truthful. I'm still meeting people. I've been there a year. But at the same time, what you find is that when you come together, you're like a house of small businesses that rally around a client or a problem or a project and give it all the passion that it needs to make a real difference. We have 3 horizons. We've always been in the business of contagious ideas, but right now we're sort of embarking into commercial creativity, and I'll show an example of that at the end of my talk this morning. We think our future is in the business of creativity. For 20 years, we've harnessed creative people and driven it towards a commercial outcome, but it doesn't take a lot of thought to see that we can actually start to build our own products and start to build our own, commerce through that fashion and not always be a service business. So we're looking at those opportunities, and you see examples of that around the world as well. So it's been an incredible year, but let me just sort of rewind and take you through what we got up to sort of, change our culture and start to live that vision. We put 360 people through Hyper Island. Does everyone know what Hyper Island is? No, okay. So Hyper Island is a school in Stockholm. It's actually in an old prison, and which they don't keep them there. But ultimately, it's now has campuses in Manchester, Singapore, and obviously Stockholm. How we would probably normally engage with it is through a masterclass. So they do this 2-day masterclass. But I would say that what Hyper Island do is design the workforce of the future. What they do is they design team thinking and team working, and I honestly believe that innovation comes from culture, but also comes from a collective mind, and that collective mind is really important. We have to sort of drop our egos and work as a team. So we put 360 people through that, and it made everyone see how things got better if we worked together, and we weren't falling into the cliches of creative directors with big egos, but the fact that we could bring technologists together with designers and designers together with artists and artists together with comedians and cinematographers and all that kind of stuff, so we can truly do remarkable things. From there, we started the Spark internship program, and we, in fact, got 5 Hyper Island graduates. These guys, I think 3 of them were from the Manchester campus in England, and then a couple of them were from Stockholm. Most incredible group. So much so that I employed them. So they're part of my team, but they are 20-somethings that are just incredibly aligned with one another. And what we're finding is that they're teaching all of us how to sort of be better at being inclusive. So we have sort of reflection sessions and all the stuff that goes with that to make sure that we're constantly sort of building on each other rather than actually sort of steamrolling through perhaps leadership roles and things like that. But it allows us to sort of stay on top of ourselves. We also went through getting a lot of new blood into the business. So we had 18 new hires last year, which is quite something. I was one of them. And we also got chief strategy, new operations people, and really to drive this, I suppose, new realisation that we had to kind of get people that allowed us to build. And so part of that recruitment process was making sure that those people were fit for this vision that we're driving forward. We then launched 3 new companies. So we're a sort of federation of small businesses as well. So we're renowned for one of our design firms, which is Re. They did the rebrand of Optus, for example. We're also renowned for Bang, which is our PR business. But last year we launched Leader, which is a CRM focused agency, Newsroom, which is our social offering, and Tricky Jigsaw, which is the innovation unit, which I head up, as well as being responsible across the 10 companies and making sure we're driving innovation across the top. Tricky Jigsaw brought in, I suppose, 8 product specialists, and that's part of that Spark team that originally the intern project. These guys are focused on agile and lean methodologies, which would be probably quite normal to a lot of you in software engineering, but those skill sets are about iteration. It's really important to drive that when you're pushing projects at speed. They're also focused on transformation. So you have to remember we're an agency, so we're a service company. So I would argue that your responsibility as business owners is to obviously make your core work as hard as it can. You're often sort of pushing the adjacent side, which is keeping you on top of things. But it's quite hard to actually unshackle yourself to see actually where you can truly transform your business. So we're focusing that team on transformation. So we have a number of projects that are underway with clients that are looking to, I suppose, disrupt their businesses from within. And that will keep them out in front of the pack. So what's exciting about that is that we are extremely knowledgeable of all the new Kickstarter projects, all the new startups that are happening, and looking at those new business models that can disrupt established clients. And that keeps us on our toes, I can tell you, and is a great responsibility to have. We have a lab, got to have a lab. In that lab, you'd expect to find software engineering, which you do. But what we do a lot of now is hardware engineering. So we have a 3D printer, of course we do. But we've also got a CNC router. We've got all the things that we need to make circuit boards. So a lot of the time at the moment, we're turning dumb objects into smart objects. That's very exciting as far as ideas that become tangible have momentum. And as soon as we can get a prototype into a client's hands, the ability for it to move forward is incredible. So we work very hard at making things tangible as fast as possible. We also have an internal incubator project, which is 5x5. So anyone in the business can come forward with an idea. There's £5,000 hard cash to get that going, but there's also the agency's capabilities that are donated to that project if we want to get it up. We put innovation into all our new business last year. We won 80% of those pitches. It's really making a difference to our business, as you would expect. But we're providing clients with roadmaps for their future. But we're also making sure that they stand out in today's media landscape as well. And we won loads of awards. Now, these awards, I know agencies like awards, but in truth, they help staff stay in seats and they also keep us on top of our game. But we won pretty much every single inaugural innovation award last year. And this next case study is, I suppose, the piece of work that has done that. And in fact, yesterday, we won the Internet of Things at South by Southwest in Texas. So I'm pumped. But I'll play the video because it does better talk about it than I do. Here we go.
In Australia, everyone knows Optus has the second largest mobile network. Our brief was to improve perception and brand awareness by shifting the focus from the size of the Optus network to the amazing things it can do.
This is 7 News.
Good evening. Sydney is in the grip of shark fear.
With severe injuries during a shark attack.
Third attack in 3 weeks.
Australia has the most fatal shark attacks in the world, 4 times more than any other country. And current methods to deter sharks haven't changed in over 60 years. This year, the problem got so bad, the Western Australian government sanctioned the culling of all large sharks.
Thousands of people have rallied against WA's shark cull policy.
So we decided to look for a new solution, one that used the Optus network to protect our beachgoers and our sharks. Introducing Clever Boy, a smart ocean buoy that detects sharks and sends instant alerts to lifeguards. The buoy detects the sharks by using a breakthrough sonar system that measures the shark's unique movement. Once a shark has been detected, a real-time message is sent to the lifeguard towers via the Optus network. This data is also shared with scientists and researchers in Google+. Clever Boy aims to be a viable alternative to current shark defence methods in Australia and worldwide, one that's more efficient, economical and humane.
World-first shark detection technology to help prevent attacks.
Since launching the prototype, the Optus Clever Boy has featured in over 500 global news stories and earned an audience of over 35 million through PR and social media. Our brief was to change the perception of the Optus network. Now, with Clever Boy under commercial development and the leader of the New South Wales Government funding public trials, we've created an ongoing product, service and platform for our client. One that could change beach safety forever.
Thank you. I'd just like to concur with the other speakers. I think innovation, I've seen firsthand how that project particularly has united the 12,000 people that work at Optus. It gives them an unbelievable reason to go to work. But also the fact that it's a signpost for what's next. Equally, in our own experience with our change, staff are retained and clients keep coming because we're driving, I suppose, a new perspective on the work that we make. And Clever Boy is just the beginning. We've got a lot more, I suppose, amazing things up our sleeve that will be coming this year. So thanks for your time this morning.